قل هذه سبيلي أدعو إلى الله على بصيرة أنا ومن اتبعني وسبحان الله وما أنا من المشركين.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to this new episode of Ask Zad, coming to you after Asr prayer, Makkah zone on Sundays. Our first of our three questions that we usually take from the emails before accepting your live phone calls. The first question is from Zainab. She says, what is the Islamic view of psychology? Can we study psychology in university as a major? The Prophet ﷺ used to seek refuge in Allah Azza wa Jal from knowledge that is not beneficial. أعوذ بك من علم لا ينفع. And knowledge can be beneficial and mandatory to learn, such as the knowledge of Tawheed, the knowledge of Allah's beautiful names and attributes, the knowledge of the Quran, of the Sunnah, of fiqh. It can be beneficial but permissible, or a communal obligation, such as chemistry, physics, math, medicine, etc. These are beneficial, but they're not related to the deen. If some of the people learn it, then the rest of the community are exempted from any sin. And there are sciences or knowledge that is permissible to learn because it has no good things in it and no bad things in it. So someone likes to pick up photography as a hobby, or to be a carpenter, or to learn car mechanics. This can be beneficial. It can have no value to him, depending. And there are sciences that are prohibited, either to their nature, such as the science of knowing how things can be through astrology and studying the movement of the stars and the zodiacs. So you are a Scorpion, then this is what will happen in the future. This is totally prohibited and it's blasphemous. It takes you out of the fold of Islam. Knowledge related to music. If you go and study music or the arts, this is haram knowledge. Music is haram. Studying theater or cinema is also related to haram jobs. And studying of philosophy. So what do people study in philosophy? Philosophy teaches people how to be independent from everything, even from religion. So you, as a philosopher, claiming to be wise, you must get rid of all these thoughts and ideas and ideology that hinders your free thinking. You're a free thinker. So you don't believe except what your logic tells you to believe. My logic tells me that there isn't any invisible creatures such as angels or devils. There is no heaven and hell. My logic may tell me that there is no God. Though philosophers say that there is a God, but he does not speak, and you do not speak to him. So the Quran is not Allah's word. Subhanallah. And they don't definitely believe in the hereafter and the day of judgment. So all what philosophers talk about is nonsense, with all due respect. And they disbelieve in the fundamentals of religions, specifically in the fundamentals of Islam. And they think that the philosopher is in a higher state than a prophet. And this is blasphemous. So this is why the vast majority, if not all of the scholars of Islam, say that studying philosophy is prohibited. So many people who were highly decorated students of knowledge, who studied Aqidah, who studied Hadith, when they went to the disbelieving countries, to Kafir countries, and studied Islam there, they got deviated and they were brainwashed to talk against their own religion through philosophy. They could not understand Islam until they studied it in these Kafir countries. So this shows you how dangerous studying philosophy and the likes at such countries when you don't have strong foundation in Aqidah. And this is why scholars say that it's totally prohibited to study it. Now, sometimes I'm doing English literature. I'm doing something that deals with business but there is a mandatory course in philosophy that I have to study. Otherwise, I would not graduate. In this case, you may study it while abhorring and disbelieving everything that is in it, and you do that out of necessity while consulting scholars to back you up all the way in order to enforce your iman, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows best. Zubair says, does Allah have two hands, feet, face, fingers, eyes? What should be our aqidah regarding this? Zubair, does Allah see? Does Allah hear? Does Allah have a will? Is Allah alive? All of these are attributes of Allah Azza wa Jal. And because these are attributes of Allah, no one claims that these attributes are equivalent to my hearing, my seeing, me being alive, me having a will. No one says this. Allah Azza wa Jal speaks. And He spoke to Musa, and He spoke to our Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. And I speak, but does anyone in his right mind say that it's the same speech? Of course not. لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ. There's nothing similar unto Him Azza wa Jal. Nothing is like Him. And He's all hearing, all seeing. So when we approve and agree that Allah has attributes of His own that are unlike any of others of His creation, then when He describes Himself in the Quran by saying that He has a face, that He has eyes, that He has hands, 2 hands to be specific, and that He has feet, and that He has fingers, and the hearts are between 2 fingers of Allah's fingers, flipping them as He wishes. Who are we to say, no. Allah, though He described Himself by such attributes, but He doesn't. We are claiming that Allah is telling us a lie? The Prophet ﷺ is describing Allah to us without telling us the truth? Of course, this is nonsense, and this is only said by deviated sects and cults of the Muslims that do not follow the Quran nor the Sunnah. Our last question, but before I go to the last question, I'd like to tell the control room that the monitor is not working. Number 3, Ali says, I want to ask if watching anime like Naruto is halal or makruh. What is Naruto? Naruto, or Uzumaki Naruto, is an anime, cartoons, Japanese cartoons that came like 20 plus years ago, and they started in series, and it talks about the community of the ninja and how there was a demon known as the nine-tailed fox who was spreading corruption and chaos in the place until one of their masters managed to capture it and put it and imprison it in his newborn child. And it talks about the life of the child and how things are happening, etc., blah, blah, blah. Now, lots of the people said that this is an innocent thing. But even the disbelievers raised red flags because this had many issues to them as disbelievers, let alone to us as Muslims. Among these things, for example, that there are subtle hints of sexuality in it. So this Naruto had a crush on his teacher. How is this possible? Again, LGBT? Is he a transgender? In one of the episodes, he comes in the form of a woman wearing bikini, trying to seduce his sensei or teacher, along with other men who act like women though they are men. So this is promoting transgenders, promoting homosexuality from a hidden angle. As Muslims, we are very careful to what we see because we acknowledge that such influence of the media is very dire and dangerous, especially on our children. And this is why even the most innocent of all cartoons may have such embedded messages, not necessarily directed to the Muslims. They don't care. They just want to spread evil and to raise our children on what they want them to believe. Even Tom and Jerry, you will find such hints when the mouse wears a bikini and dance the Hawaiian way of dancing and tries to seduce others. This seems innocent, but it is not. Our children, when they're 3 or 4 years of age, watching this has a negative impact as they grow. So for us Muslims, we have to be very protective from watching such filth that doesn't get us closer to Allah. But Sheikh, it's fun. Yeah, I know it's fun. It can easily consume 5 or 6 hours of your day because you're addicted to it. And the bad part is, even if you spend 6 hours a day and you've had enough, you turn it off, what happens? The moment you see your mom or dad or someone close to you, I'm bored. You've just spent 6 hours watching something you like. Yeah, but still I'm bored because this is an addiction. It doesn't fulfill the vacuum in your heart. And this is why we need to address this issue with Islamic alternative, with sports clubs, with places where kids can hang out safely and learn good things with righteous practicing Muslims, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows best. Full shade from Nigeria.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Samtullah.
Yeah, I have a female friend of mine who unfortunately learned some Arabic from a male imam from a local Islamic association and now attend a female Islamic institution by watching one of your videos. But she would like to know if she will get the full reward of reading Quran like a righteous sister.
So how can I answer her if she does know how to read the Quran or not without examining her? This is something that her female teacher should address. So what I would recommend her to do is to look for a Muslimah, a female teacher, and she reads to her pages of the Quran and she corrects her if she's capable of doing that or not. But either way, she can read the Quran even if she has mistakes. There's no problem in that because this is the best of her ability at the moment. We do not hold back and say, no, we should not allow her to read the Quran until she's perfect. Nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes. So if she knows the basics and she's learned Arabic, she can read the Quran, she may do that. But to me, I can't give her the green light to go ahead, teach, or continue to read as if she's a perfect person in reading it. And I can not tell her to stop. Reading the Quran is between her and Allah Azza wa Jal. As long as she's doing the best she can, inshallah, there's no problem in that. Alia from Ireland. Alia. Okay, Abu Bakr from Germany.
Assalamu alaikum, ya Sheikh.
Salamullah.
I have a short question. I read in the Fath al-Bari that Imam Bukhari...
one second. This guy is...
What is happening? That's the question that needs to be answered. So I think we don't have Abu Bakr from Germany, so we have Rashid from Tunisia.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
And who's this?
Rashid.
Rashid, Hayyak Allah. Yes, sir.
What's the ruling on a woman wearing the nurse outfit? And she will wear something underneath to cover her arms. Jazakallah khair.
وجزاكم. And we have Abu Uzair from Holland.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salamullah.
So the guy earlier who was talking, he's a Qadiani. So they usually do this. They try to call in and they ask you questions in certain regards. So my question is actually in this matter as well. Like they use a clip of you from Surah 3, verse 144, where it says, قَدْ خَلَقْ مِنْ قَبْلِ الرُّسُلِ. So my question is very simple. Is Jesus alayhi salam dead according to this verse? Barakallahu fiqh. And please be careful sometimes because they call in. They're not, they try to use your videos for their da'wah purposes. So barakallahu fiqh.
Oh, fiqh barakallah. And we have Ahmad from South Africa.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Salamullah wa barakatuh.
طيب Sheikh, my question is, I'm studying in a Turkish school, majority are Muslims, and they have a subject called religious studies. It basically teaches like other religions and how they worship God. So we are invited to go on a trip to a temple. I'm also like studying a short-term course with a Makkah Sheikh about Islam. I want to also learn about other religions, so in the future, if I meet those kind of people, I would know their background. Is it permissible for me to go?
Okay, I will answer you, inshallah. And we have Fidan from Turkey.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salamullah.
So my question is,
Yes.
when I do like wudu, the water kind of hits my hand and it reflects back into the air and it lands like on the same limb, but like a lot of it lands back. So is it now pure water, and does like the mixing of pure and purifying water make wudu invalid? Because it's a lot of it.
Okay, I will answer you, inshallah. In-stream from Australia.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salamullah.
I was wondering, there are some people well, they're pretty liberal and, modern. And when you try and, talk to them about things that they do or they believe, like LGBT or whatever, they just always say, oh, everything's between me and Allah, you can't judge us. So how do we respond to people who say that?
Okay, I will answer you, inshallah. Zain Al-Abdin from Belgium. Zain Al-Abdin.
Assalamu alaikum.
Raise your voice, ya akhi.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
May Allah reward you and Zat TV and all of us.
Ameen.
My question is, what is the ruling on praying in a mosque where they used to hang the name of Allah and the Prophet ﷺ together?
Okay, I will answer you, inshallah. And we have Muhammad from the US.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salamullah.
Sheikh, in almost every single prayer that I do, and about 99% of them, I make mistakes in the Fatiha or in some other part of the prayer. And I almost always make mistakes in recitation somewhere in the prayer. So should I recite Subhanallah, walhamdulillah, wallahu akbar, wa la ilaha illallah in order to make up for the mistakes I make in the Fatiha? And if so, should I say it after saying Ameen? And how many times should I say it?
Okay. Muzammil from the Emirates.
Yes, assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salamullah.
So my question is, can I, since I'm learning Arabic, can I recite the Arab when I'm reading Quran, like Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahimi, or should I follow the rules?
I don't understand your question.
Like, for example, while learning Arabic,
You do what? Okay, I think we've lost Muzammil. The line is not clear. Saif from India.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salamullah.
Sheikh, in a hadith reported by Ahmad, Abu Sar al-Ghifari Razdalana said, my intimate friend Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam ordered me with 7 things. And in that, one thing that is mentioned is to not ask anyone for anything. What does this mean? That if I ask anyone to look for me a job or to help me with getting clients, does that make me a person of less iman? Jazakallah khair.
Wa jazak. Salihin from Canada.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salamullah.
Sheikh, as we know, we have to love Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam more than ourselves and our family members. My question is, do we have to love the Mu'mineen and Ahlul Bayt also more than ourselves and our family members? What our attitude should be towards Mu'mineen and Ahlul Bayt? Jazakallah khair.
Wa jazak. And Abdul Majid from Nigeria.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salamullah.
What are the signs that I'll begin to see or notice if I'm afflicted with the evil eye, and what is the cure?
What are the signs?
Yes.
Okay. And we have Alia from Ireland.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salamullah.
Sheikh, my question is, my husband, he is a revert Muslim, and his father is still non-Muslim, and he said that he's interested in the religion, but we don't live together, and he lives in another city. And then he calls my husband, and he was asking him, he met, I don't know, a deviant Muslim, that they told him that the Prophet ﷺ made mistakes and Allah corrected him. So he rang him yesterday and was asking him about this. My husband doesn't know how to answer because he doesn't know the religion yet. So he was asking in this situation how he should answer or react to.
Okay, what does this have to do with paying interest? I did not get the question right.
My father-in-law, my husband's father, he's interested becoming Muslim. He said that he's researching and want to.
Okay, I got your question. Okay, no problem. Sarah from India. Sarah? Do we have Sarah? Okay, I think we have a short break. Stay tuned, and inshallah we'll be right back.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, my brother and my sister, in the new program. This program is talking about learn Arabic alphabets through the Quran. We will study more and more of Arabic language. We will study these Arabic alphabets through the surah of Quran. We have listening, we have writing, we have speaking, we have example, we have short vowels, we have long vowels, we have homework, and inshallah we have exercise for you more and more. I hope inshallah you will enjoy with us and you will stay with us more and more in our program. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, and welcome back. So full sheet, we've answered her question. Alia from Ireland, we got her question at the very end. Abu Bakr from Germany, we're interrupted. Rashad from Tunis says, what is the ruling on a woman who works as a nurse in a hospital wearing the uniform of nurses? And she's wearing something that covers her arms underneath. Now, the question is very easy. And we answer this by another question. Is the uniform she's wearing follows the attire, the Islamic attire of a Muslim woman, which has to be oblique, not see-through, not exposing her bone structure and body curves, not imitating the kuffar, not drawing attention or attracting attention to others, among other things? The answer is no. The uniform of a nurse is something that a woman may wear inside of her own home in front of her mahrams or other women. It exposes her buttocks, her waist, her shoulders. It shows and exposes all of these things clearly, in which means that this is not a befitting attire for a Muslim woman. And there are no corners that we can cut through. This is something that we have to be really serious about, because what a Muslim woman wears, we cannot compromise. And unfortunately, in the medical field, it seems that medicine and the medical profession is becoming their god that says what's halal and what's haram. And unfortunately, this is becoming a trend in most professions to the Muslims. Even in Muslim countries, they don't care what Sharia says. They care only what they want. So if you go to a hospital and you audit what's happening in a hospital according to Quran and Sunnah, no extremism, nothing of such, scholars coming and telling us what's the ruling on a nurse or a surgeon, doctor, female, going into preparation before the surgery, doing her scrubs, washing her arms, the elbows in front of other men, exposing that. And maybe the surgeon's attire where you can see her neck and part of her chest. Is this halal in Islam? So this is not our issue now here. The issue is it permissible for a nurse to wear such clothes? The answer is simple and straightforward, no. Abu Aziz from Holland, he says that this caller was a Qadiani and they make video clips of what you say and they use it to support their da'wah. I don't believe that. With all due respect, yani, Akhi Al-Kareem, Abu Aziz, who are the Qadianis? They're nobody. They're kafir sect. They do not relate to Islam. And their leader, their founder who died in the bathroom, a horrible death, and their history, it's nothing. Qadian is in occupied territory of Palestine, made by the Israelis, the Jews. This is where they pray to. Well, that was the Baha'is. Well, it's the same thing. Sorry, I get always mixing up apples with oranges. Qadian is in India. And they do not relate to Islam. They may quote one verse of the Quran. قَدْ خَلَتْ مِنْ قَبْلِهِ الرُّسُلُ. The Prophet Muhammad is a messenger that many messengers before him have passed and died. So this means that Jesus, peace be upon him, is dead. Who said so? Because the ayah says all the messengers before him had died. No, it doesn't say that. It talks about generalities in general. So they come to this single verse and they disregard all the other verses in the Quran that says that Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, will come at the end of time and will be testifying and witnessing what the people do. They neglect all the hadith in Bukhari and elsewhere where the Prophet ﷺ said to us that he is going to come down, he's going to kill the Dajjal. And they said, no. Only we have this verse. So these people are not Muslims. So don't spend time, waste time refuting them or making an issue of what they say. Simply ignore them. When a dog barks you, you do not bark back. Ignore him. Move on. So I advise people not to make an issue. Let them use my videos. That's no problem for me. That's good advertisement because whenever people see that they're using my videos to support their own religion, people would come back to my YouTube channel, come back to my material and see that I'm saying to everybody that Qadianis, Ahmadis, Baha'is, all are kafir. They do not relate to Islam. And there's nothing they can do about it. Ask any scholar, not even reputable scholar, any scholar in the entire Muslim world. Go to Indonesia, go to Malaysia, go to Jordan, go to Syria, go to Egypt, go to Morocco, go to the US, go to Germany, anywhere. Any Muslim scholar would say, yep, they're not Muslims. End of story. So, move on. Ahmed from South Africa, he says that he studies in a Turkish school and they teach them a subject about religions, and part of studying they have to go on a road trip or a school trip to a temple. Is it permissible? The answer is no. And it's not permissible for you, Akhi Ahmed, to study about other religions until you become really strong in your own aqeedah, in your own religion. You know Arabic, you know the Quran, you know the Sunnah, you have strong knowledge of aqeedah. I see a lot of youngsters very enthusiastic to study other religions and to refute the Christians and to speak about the Hindus and the Jews and etc. And when you ask them about the basics of their own religion, they don't have an answer. This is totally wrong, totally haram. It's not a communal obligation. The Prophet ﷺ saw Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, reading a paper from a Torah. He was angry with him. And he snatched it from his hand, telling him that even if Moses, peace be upon him, were alive, he would not have any other choice but to follow the Prophet ﷺ. And Umar refrained from doing that. So this is not permissible for you, Akhi. Faydan from Turkey, she says that, and this is something that a lot of the Muslims face and have, unfortunately, when they have whispers of shaitan. They think that the used water when making wudu, whatever drips of water, that this water is najis, or at least used water. So if it were to fall into the same vessel that I'm making wudu from, or it fell on my foot, or on my face, or my arms, then this hampers my wudu or impacts it negatively. And this is totally baseless. The water of the wudu that is used, so now I washed my arms and the water is dripping. This water is not najis. It is pure. So even if it falls in the same vessel and I reuse it again, there's no problem in doing that, and it has zero impact on your wudu. Instagram from Australia, he says, whenever we talk to some people who consider themselves to be liberals, and in Islam we don't have liberals. We have Muslims and non-Muslims. So when someone comes and says, yeah, I'm a Muslim, but I'm a liberal Muslim. What is a liberal Muslim? If you're liberal, I'm conservative. What do you mean by liberal? It means that I have no problem with LGBT. I have no problem with homosexuality. I have no problem if people change their religions and flip from Islam to Hinduism or to Christianity. I have no problem with people having things that go against Islam, but it doesn't impact me. This is between them and Allah. So if someone opens a brothel, no problem. People have to have fun. If someone opens a bar, sells intoxicants, no problem. It's a free country. This is not liberalism. This is kufr, disbelief, because they're accepting other than Allah's sharia. And Islam is all about convictions. So those who say, whenever you talk to them about LGBT, for example, and that this is condemned by Jews, Christians, and Muslims. So all these religions consider that to be sinful. And it's a major sin. And they say, yeah, this is between them and Allah. Maybe, but also child molesting is between them and Allah. Also rape is between them and Allah. Stealing people's homes without them knowing and not being caught is between me and Allah. That does not justify it. That does not legitimize it. So we as Muslims have Quran and Sunnah that governs everything we do. They govern our convictions and beliefs. And as a Muslim, you do not have the right to condole or to endorse what such sinful people do by saying this is between them and Allah. Yes, it's true. Nobody told you to go and beat them up. But we tell you not to endorse it, not to be fine with it. They want to be LGBT on their own time and on their own place. That's their problem. You don't force me to go and socialize with them and normalize ties with them and think that what they're doing is their right and I have no objection, so I have to endorse it, invite them over to dine in my home and maybe take my kids for the afternoon. No, you don't have the right to do that. I don't tell you to do anything harmful to them. This is their life. But we should call a spade. And Allah Azza wa Jal knows best. Zain al-Abidin from Belgium, he says, what's the ruling on praying in a masjid where they have Allah named in a circle and next to it Muhammad, Rasulullah in a circle? The prayer is valid totally. It has nothing to do with the prayer. What counts is the aqeedah of the imam himself, whether he's committing shirk or not. But praying there is totally legit. Is putting Allah's name and the Prophet's name next to one another like that legitimate? The answer is no. But does it have any impact on my prayer? The answer is no. Muhammad from the US, he says, I have like 99%, whenever I pray, I make mistakes in recitation of the Fatiha or something else in the Quran or in the Adhkar. So is it permissible for me to say Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, Allah Akbar, La ilaha illallah instead of reading the Quran? No, this is not permissible at all. This was taught to the by the Prophet ﷺ to the companion who came and could not memorize anything of the Quran. You, my friend, with the pronunciation you just said, Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, Allah Akbar, La ilaha illallah, have a problem. Your Arabic is excellent, your pronunciation is perfect, which means that you don't have a problem in reciting the Fatiha. You have a problem here. Shaitan is messing up with you. And if the vast majority of your prayers, you have these wiswas and feeling like you're making mistakes, you must, with a capital M-U-S-T, you must ignore these doubts, continue your prayer despite of any imagined or alleged mistakes, and finish it without any sujood as-sahw, and never look back. So your prayer is valid totally. In 5 to 7 days, if you continue to pray without repeating it, without even looking back at what you have done or listening to the whispers of shaitan, you may have nullified your prayer. You may have committed a major sin. Ignore. In 5 to 7 days, all of these whispers would go down the drain, bi'idhnillah. Saif from India says, the Prophet ﷺ, in one of his advices, used to always tell the companions not to ask people anything. In this authentic hadith, they used to give the pledge of allegiance to the Prophet ﷺ not to ask people anything. The hadith goes on to say that, so one of them might be on his camel and his whip falls down, he would not ask people to hand it to him, rather he would dismount his camel, pick it up and ride it back again. What does this hadith mean? It means that the Prophet was telling them, was teaching them to have full reliance and dependence on Allah Azza wa Jal, not even to ask people for the least of things, like we do. But is it haram? No, it's not haram. If I ask someone to bring me a glass of water, if I ask a friend to help me carry a heavy box, if I ask someone to put a good word for me with his boss because I'm applying for a job tomorrow, all of this is halal. But is it the best scenario? No, it is not, and one should avoid it, and Allah knows best. Salhin from Canada, he says, we know that we have to love the Prophet ﷺ more than we love ourselves, our parents, our children, and everything. But does this also cascade to Ahlul Bayt, to his wives, the mother of the believers, to his children, to his offspring? The answer is no. This has no relation to that. Our love is to the Prophet ﷺ more than anything else. Do we love the mothers of the believers? Of course, they are our mothers. Do we love his offspring? Definitely, because he commanded us and he advised us to do so. But this does not elevate to the love of the Prophet ﷺ. And we're not supposed to love them or sacrifice our lives to them as we do with him ﷺ. That's a total different issue and matter altogether. Abdul Majid from Nigeria. What are the signs of evil eye, and what are the treatments of it? I don't know. This has to be asked to someone who knows and who deals and treats such things. See, an evil eye is not a specific illness that you feel that there is rash on your skin or you have back pain. No, it differs. Someone's evil eye could be in falling sick. Someone's evil eye is in being unable to walk and he has knee problems. Someone's evil eye could affect his income, so he's kicked out of his job. Someone's evil eye could break up their marriage. I get so many people coming to me for counseling, and when I listen to them, I say that this is evil eye or black magic. There's something wrong. Yesterday I was with one of the sisters who was complaining about her marital life and husband, and as she was talking, I told her, wait, this is an evil eye or black magic. She says, no, there's nothing wrong with me. There are no signs. I say, I can tell. You're saying something is white, and a minute later you say, no, no, it's black. And when I bring it to your attention, you say, yeah, it's white. And then you go again and say it's black. So your thought process has been jeopardized by this evil eye. And you may not see it or you may not feel it. There are many signs of it. So how to treat it? The best thing is that you accuse someone of giving you an evil eye. If you know that, yes, my auntie said so and so, and since she said that sentence, I wasn't feeling good. Or my friend, or my cousin. Or if you know the person, then you should ask them to perform wudu and collect the wudu water. And among the things, they wash their face, their arms, their feet, and the inside of the garments. So the inside of the trouser or of the thobe, and get the water in a vessel, and then from behind you, someone comes and washes you and throws it from on top of your head downwards, and this cures you immediately. If this is not possible, I don't know which one. I have a gazillion people probably accused of that. In this case, you have no other cure but to do ruqyah. And ruqyah is an excellent remedy for such diseases and illnesses, and it's guaranteed bi'idhnillah to cure you, but it may take some time. Alia from Ireland. So her father-in-law is interested in Islam, and he asked his son, who's a newly revert, that some people claim that the Prophet ﷺ made mistakes and Allah corrected him. So he's asking, what is this? Well, first of all, is the Prophet ﷺ human or not? The answer is yes. To us, compared to us, he's infallible, but he is still human. And there are many places in the Quran where the Prophet ﷺ may have made a ijtihad. He came up with a decision, with an opinion that he thought that was good, only for Allah Azza wa Jal to come and correct him. As in the case of accepting ransom for the prisoners of war of Badr. Allah told him that that was a mistake. And the only one who Allah approved was Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, who said we should execute our prisoners of wars. But Abu Bakr said, no, there are relatives, let's take ransom. The Prophet liked that, and he accepted ransom. Allah said that that was a wrong decision. And there are a number, not many, a number, 1 or 2 or 3 incidents where Allah Azza wa Jal corrects His Messenger alayhi salatu only to show you that the Prophet is not speaking of his own self, that he only speaks by the approval of Allah Azza wa Jal. And everything he does is approved by Allah, and if there was a mistake, Allah would correct it immediately. Secondly, it shows you that this religion is a perfect religion, and that the Prophet ﷺ is a human being who may make mistakes, but these few mistakes that are counted, on one hand, we can rectify it from the Quran and the Sunnah to prove that he's a human being, to prove that he's not making this religion up, otherwise he would not have made any such mistakes, and to prove that the religion is perfect and complete. This is all the time we have until we meet next week, Saturday, inshallah, after Maghrib, Mecca time. I leave you fi amanillah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
قل هذه سبيلي أدعو إلى الله على بصيرة أنا ومن اتبعني وسبحان الله وما أنا من المشركين.